Maybe the loneliness you feel right now is the peace you are asking for, not because it feels good and not because it's easy to sit with, but because it's the first time in a long while that nothing is pulling you in 10 different directions at once. There's no one demanding your attention, no expectations to meet, no version of yourself you're trying to maintain just to be accepted. And when that disappears, what's left can feel uncomfortable. It can feel empty. It can feel like something is missing. But sometimes what's missing is exactly what was holding you back. For a long time, your life may have been filled with constant interaction, conversations, plans, routines, obligations. You stayed busy because staying busy made it easier not to think too deeply about where you were going or how you actually felt. When things didn't work out, when people left, when plans fell apart, you told yourself it was temporary and kept moving. But now, movement has slowed down, and without distractions, you're forced to sit with questions you kept postponing. You might not even know how to explain what feels wrong. You wake up, go through the day, do what's required of you, and from the outside, everything looks fine. But internally, there's a sense that you're not where you thought you'd be by now. Time keeps passing, and even though you're trying, progress feels slower than it should. You look around and see people settling into careers, relationships, routines, and it makes you wonder if you missed something or started too late. This is usually the point where people rush to fill the gap. They chase attention, validation, new connections, anything that keeps them from being alone with themselves. But when that doesn't happen, when the space remains, it starts to feel personal. Like you were singled out. Like life moved forward without you. In reality, this phase isn't unique. It's just rarely talked about honestly. You wanted distance from things that weren't working. You wanted relief from pressure. You wanted time to breathe. What you didn't expect was how unfamiliar it would feel once you actually got it. Without constant input, you begin to notice patterns you ignored before. How much energy you spent trying to be understood. How often you stayed in situations longer than you should have. How much of your identity was built around external approval. Healing doesn't arrive as clarity. It arrives as confusion first. It forces you to reevaluate decisions you made just to survive. It makes you question the pace you were moving at. It shows you where you were reacting instead of choosing. That process doesn't feel productive in the moment, which is why it's often mistaken for stagnation. There's a difference between being stuck and being paused. Being stuck keeps you repeating the same cycle. Being paused gives you the chance to step back and see the cycle clearly. This is usually when you start realizing that some relationships weren't adding stability, some goals weren't actually yours, and some versions of success were inherited rather than chosen. The nights feel longer because there's nothing to distract you from your thoughts. Messages don't come in the same way they used to. And for the first time, you're forced to sit with yourself without filters. That can feel uncomfortable, but discomfort doesn't always mean something is wrong. Sometimes it means something is finally being addressed. Over time, you begin to understand that this space isn't empty. It's full of things you didn't have room to notice before. Your own limits, your real interests, the way you actually want to live instead of the way you were expected to live. You start realizing that loneliness wasn't a punishment. It was a reset. A reset doesn't feel productive at first. There's no visible result, no immediate reward, but it gives you something more valuable than momentum. It gives you alignment. You stop chasing things just because everyone else is chasing them. You stop forcing connections that drain you. You start making decisions with more intention, even if they take longer. Maybe you're not lost. Maybe you're in the process of becoming someone more grounded, more aware, and more selective about where your energy goes. That process isn't exciting to watch from the outside, but it changes everything about how you move forward. And one day, when your life starts to take shape again, you'll recognize this phase for what it was. Not a failure, not wasted time, but the moment where you finally learned how to stand without constantly needing something to lean on. This wasn't the end of anything. It was the beginning of something more honest. And this was the peace you were searching for all along.